The Ocean Club Resort in Praia da Luz, Portugal, promised an idyllic family retreat in the warm spring of May 2007. The terracotta roofs and cobblestone streets whispered of tranquility, a perfect backdrop for the McCann family's vacation. But within the quiet confines of ground-floor apartment 5A, a profound and terrifying void was about to open. 3-year-old Madeleine McCann, sleeping peacefully alongside her younger twin siblings, would soon vanish into the Portuguese night. The shuttered window, the undisturbed twins, the sudden, absolute absence of a little girl in pink pajamas remains a chilling tableau that has haunted the global consciousness for nearly 2 decades. How does a child simply evaporate from a locked room while her parents dine just yards away? The evening of May 3rd unfolded with the routine rhythm of a relaxed holiday. Kate and Gerry McCann joined their friends at the resort's tapas restaurant, a mere 50 yards from their apartment. The group had established a system of rotating checks, leaving the table at regular intervals to ensure their sleeping children were safe. Gerry checked on Madeleine and the twins at 9 o'clock, noting nothing amiss in the dimly lit bedroom. The door was slightly ajar, exactly as he had left it. The Mediterranean breeze carried the sounds of clinking glasses and quiet conversation from the poolside, masking whatever silent intrusion was unfolding in the shadows. At 10 o'clock, the illusion of safety shattered permanently. Kate McCann returned to apartment 5A for her scheduled check. The bedroom door was now wide open. The window shutters, previously closed, were raised, and the curtain fluttered in the draft. The twins slept on, oblivious, but Madeleine's bed was empty. The sheer, suffocating panic of that discovery is something Kate later described as a primal, physical pain. According to her published accounts, she frantically searched the small apartment, hoping her daughter had simply wandered into another room, before running back to the restaurant, screaming that Madeleine was gone. In that singular, devastating moment, a family's life was irrevocably fractured. The immediate aftermath was a chaotic symphony of desperation. Resort staff, fellow vacationers, and local residents poured into the winding streets of Praia da Luz, calling the 3-year-old's name into the darkness. Flashlights pierced the brush surrounding the complex, and the shoreline was scoured for any sign of a wandering child. Yet the initial response by local authorities lacked the rapid, coordinated lockdown required in the crucial early hours of a suspected abduction. Border police and marine authorities were not immediately notified, leaving potential escape routes wide open. The golden hour, that critical window where a missing person is most likely to be found, slipped away into the cool Atlantic night. As dawn broke over the Algarve, the stark reality of the situation set in. The crime scene inside the apartment had been compromised by the frantic initial search, complicating the collection of forensic evidence. Fingerprints belonging to dozens of people blurred the lines of investigation. Portuguese police, operating under their own regional protocols, initially treated the disappearance as a missing child case rather than a targeted abduction. This early divergence in investigative strategy would cast a long, complicated shadow over the years to come, resulting in lost opportunities and heavily scrutinized police work. The quiet coastal village rapidly transformed into the epicenter of an unprecedented international media storm. Satellite trucks choked the narrow roads, and journalists from across the globe descended upon Praia da Luz. Madeleine's image, a blonde, smiling toddler with a distinctive blemish in her right eye, was suddenly ubiquitous, broadcast on continuous news loops and plastered across front pages worldwide. The public became deeply, almost obsessively, invested in the fate of the little girl. The sheer scale of the coverage turned a private tragedy into a public spectacle, generating immense pressure on the authorities to deliver answers that simply did not exist. Caught in the blinding glare of this global spotlight, Kate and Gerry McCann navigated an unimaginable nightmare. They utilized the media attention to keep their daughter's face in the public eye, traveling across Europe, meeting with political leaders, and even securing an audience with the Pope. Their faces, etched with exhaustion and profound grief, became the defining image of parental desperation. They pleaded with the captors, begging for mercy, offering rewards, and refusing to let the world forget the child who had been taken. But the intense visibility also invited a dark, unrelenting wave of public scrutiny and baseless speculation. By late summer of 2007, the investigation took a deeply controversial turn. Frustrated by the lack of physical leads and a mounting international outcry, Portuguese authorities began to focus their attention inward, looking at the parents themselves. Cadaver dogs were brought into the apartment and the family's rental car, reacting to scents that police interpreted as evidence of foul play. The narrative shifted drastically, suggesting an accidental death and a subsequent cover-up. This theory, leaked heavily to the press, ignited a firestorm of tabloid condemnation, transforming the grieving parents into prime suspects in the court of public opinion. In September, Kate and Gerry McCann were formally declared arguidos, or named suspects, by the Portuguese police. It was a devastating blow, compounding the agony of their missing daughter with the weight of monstrous accusations. The forensic evidence cited by the police was fiercely contested by independent experts who argued that DNA traces in a shared family environment were entirely circumstantial and scientifically inconclusive. The investigation had become entangled in a web of misinterpreted data and intense institutional pressure. For months, the McCanns lived under this dark cloud, fighting to clear their names while desperately trying to refocus the search on Madeleine. The official suspect status was finally lifted in July 2008, when the Portuguese Attorney General archived the case due to a lack of evidence. The McCanns were exonerated, but the damage to the investigation was profound. A year had passed. The trail had grown agonizingly cold. The sprawling archive of tips, alleged sightings, and witness statements remained a chaotic labyrinth, lacking a cohesive central strategy. The initial momentum was gone, replaced by a haunting stillness that settled over the unresolved files. Despite the official archiving, the international investigation never truly ceased. Private investigators funded by the family chased shadows across continents, following up on thousands of reported sightings from Morocco to New Zealand. A woman matching Madeleine's description in a market in Marrakesh. A blonde child spotted in a Belgian cafe. Each tip brought an agonizing surge of hope, followed by the crushing weight of another dead end. The sheer volume of false leads highlighted the unique difficulty of searching for a highly recognizable child in an interconnected world where every blonde toddler suddenly warranted a second glance. As years bled into decades, the nature of the tragedy evolved. The physical absence became a permanent aching fixture in the McCann household. Age progression images were periodically released, showing what Madeleine might look like at 9, then 14, then 18. These digitally rendered faces were a heartbreaking necessity, a tool to keep the search relevant, but they also served as a cruel reminder of the milestones stolen from the family. Birthdays were marked with quiet vigils and unopened presents. The psychological toll of ambiguous loss, grieving a child who may still be alive, is a uniquely torturous state of suspended animation. In 2011, recognizing the enduring public interest and the pleas of the family, the British government intervened. Scotland Yard launched Operation Grange, a massive multi-million-pound review of the entire case file. A dedicated team of detectives meticulously re-examined every scrap of evidence, every witness statement, and every translation error from the original Portuguese investigation. They identified dozens of new persons of interest and highlighted a spike in local burglaries in Praia da Luz in the weeks leading up to the disappearance. This fresh set of eyes brought renewed rigor to the case, shifting the focus back to the theory of a premeditated abduction or a burglary gone wrong. The most significant breakthrough in over a decade emerged in 2020. German authorities announced they had a new prime suspect, a convicted sex offender known as Christian B., who had been living in a camper van near Praia da Luz at the time Madeleine vanished. Cell phone data placed him near the Ocean Club resort on the night of May 3rd. According to German prosecutors, they had concrete evidence that the child was dead, though they did not immediately disclose the nature of that proof to the public. The suspect's extensive criminal history and proximity to the scene presented a chillingly plausible narrative. Yet, the agonizing wait for definitive answers continues. Building a prosecutable case on circumstantial evidence, historical cell tower pings, and the testimonies of jailhouse informants is a monumental legal challenge. The suspect remains incarcerated in Germany on unrelated charges, while investigators painstakingly search for the physical link that would tie him conclusively to apartment 5A. The complex jurisdictional dance between British, German, and Portuguese authorities adds another layer of bureaucratic friction to the pursuit of justice. The truth, it seems, is trapped somewhere in the cross-border paperwork and the silent memories of a hardened criminal. The legacy of this high-profile case extends far beyond the borders of Portugal. It fundamentally altered the way parents perceive safety, shattering the illusion that a quiet resort offers immunity from the darkest elements of society. It also catalyzed changes in cross-border police cooperation and the implementation of rapid alert systems for missing children across Europe. Furthermore, the media circus surrounding the McCann family became a cautionary tale about the destructive power of unchecked speculation and trial by tabloid, a dark precursor to the true crime obsession that dominates modern digital culture. Through the swirling vortex of theories, suspects, and media noise, the core of the story remains a deeply intimate human tragedy. In the McCann home in Leicestershire, Madeleine's bedroom has remained untouched since 2007. The pink walls, the soft toys, the silent anticipation of a return that defies all statistical probability. Kate and Gerry have channeled their profound grief into advocacy, working tirelessly to reform missing persons charities and support other families walking the same dark path. Their resilience is a testament to the enduring, unbreakable bond between parent and child, a love that refuses to be extinguished by time or absence. The vanish point in Praia da Luz remains a wound that will not heal. The cobblestone streets still hold the echo of that frantic May evening, and the ocean breeze carries the weight of thousands of unanswered questions. Until conclusive evidence is found, the void persists, occupied only by hope and the relentless pursuit of truth. The name Madeleine McCann is no longer just a missing child. It is a global symbol of the enduring mystery, a reminder of how quickly the ordinary can descend into the unthinkable, and a testament to a family that simply refuses to let the light go out in the dark.